This weekend is going to bring a shift to our weather pattern. Hey everyone, Darrell here from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center with a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Yes, 70s and even 80s are expected, but also a chance of showers with the potential of some thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. Even today, on Friday, we've had one cell that's been producing a little bit of lighting, mostly on the east slopes of the Cascades, and we're continuing to track all of that. This weekend, when wind showers develop, if they start to develop into thunderstorm activity, we'll be tracking those as well. So let's go ahead and look outside. We have a whole lot more cloud cover across the high desert, and with these clouds, there are just some light showers. Now, when we get to satellite and radar, you'll notice that there are some showers showing up on radar in the lower elevations. Just not a lot of that is actually reaching the surface. But let's talk about air quality first, because we actually had some poor air quality again this morning. In fact, when it comes to the hourly average by 7 o'clock, this is when we had air quality that was hazardous over Bend, getting up to Tumlo, but other parts of Central Oregon not nearly as bad. And so when we just focus on Bend itself, we actually had the poor air quality for several hours. In fact, between the hours of 4 a.m. and about 8 a.m., it was unhealthy or worse. Notice that it even got up to where it was just off the scale. Now, hazardous air quality is anything from 300 AQI to 500 AQI plus, and that's where we were sitting. And so with this poor air quality, this was just the hourly average. There were a lot of other sensors even outside of the Greater Bend area that had just poor conditions. And then through the afternoon, getting closer to the evening, we did come back down through moderate into good air quality. So when we go back to the map, what we're seeing is that through the morning hours, we just had that terrible air quality. By the afternoon, it wasn't nearly as bad. And even right now, we're sitting in the green. We have good air quality, not just for Bend, but not just for the hourly average either, but even the real-time sensors are showing green, and those real-time sensors are from eSpace. In fact, what we're looking at right here is a map that has a blend of different networks. The base map is that hourly average from the DEQ. You can also see it at airnow.gov anytime you need, or go to our website, go to the weather page, and click on the air quality tab. If you have our mobile app, it's visible there as well. And when it comes to the eSpace sensors, that's a company right here in Bend that has this network across Central Oregon. But we also have one more network that we like to track quite a bit, and that is the Purple Air. The real-time, the airnow.gov sensors are the hourly average. The eSpace ones are an average for about 15 minutes, but these ones are instant read, and these ones quite often are a lot more sensitive than the other ones. And so right now we're even still looking at good to moderate air quality. When we focus on the roads, they're all dry. They've been dry for quite some time. We haven't seen any rain inside, but also what we don't see is any of that reduced visibility from smoke just yet. Up in the higher elevations, we have had some showers, some thunderstorms rolling through, but each one of the passes looks like it has dry roads. And when we focus on satellite and radar, this is what I was talking about. Those showers that you see in the lower elevations on the 97 corridor and surrounding areas, just about 30 minutes ago I stepped outside, didn't even feel any sprinkles. So not all of this is reaching the ground, even though it's being picked up on radar. We call that virga, and that is when rain evaporates as it falls before it reaches the surface. And that one cell that was producing some lightning is already fizzling out. Looks like it's just outside of Camp Sherman right now. So when we look at the bigger picture, we got a whole lot of cloud cover. We've had some showers and that single thunderstorm, and as of right now, that is starting to taper off. By tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit stronger. We're going to still have this similar setup, but convection is going to be a little higher valued, and that means scattered showers and the potential of some thunderstorms. And by tomorrow, we're going to be topping out in the 70s with some 80s possible, but notice before we get to the afternoon, it's just some clouds rolling into the high desert. So when we focus on enhanced infrared satellite imagery, this is very similar to the satellite and radar, just no radar on it, and it picks up the enhancement on there is where we have very tall clouds, it makes it a brighter color. So that one single thunderstorm that we were tracking over Jefferson County that put out quite a few lightning strikes, that one is still pushing to the north right on the east slopes of the Cascades, and it's starting to fizzle out. But outside of that, that mixture of sunshine and cloud cover is evident, and we still have a light breeze. Now, there is a ridge of high pressure that's way out over the Pacific Ocean, that huge bullseye out there, and that's going to stay in place. But what we do see is right along this wave of moisture, right at the tail end, a low is going to develop tonight. That's going to impact us tomorrow. So as of right now, this weak system is bringing a plume of moisture right into central Oregon. Now, this isn't an atmospheric river, not a pineapple express, none of the above. That moisture flow gets cut off in the subtropical regions, and this is just pulling some of that Pacific moisture right into the Pacific Northwest. Outside of that, very dry air that comes back into play later this weekend, but through Saturday, there is a chance of thunderstorm activity. Nothing severe, just some thunderstorms possible. And by Sunday, we carry that risk of thunderstorm activity a little bit longer. But notice, by Sunday, it mostly moves a little further south. So we're talking southwestern, south central Oregon, maybe parts of central Oregon catching that potential of some thunderstorm activity. So let's hit the forecast model. This is a high resolution forecast model, and it shows clouds and precipitation, and basically what's happening right now fizzles out. By tomorrow, scattered showers possible. Notice that the heaviest thunderstorm potential is on the west slopes of the Cascades. A few of them could develop in central Oregon, and then we repeat that again on Sunday. So ultimately, this isn't going to be a strong system driving this active pattern. In fact, it's mostly just going to be what we refer to as convective thunderstorm potential, and that just means that we could have some pop-up thunderstorms. And at this point, it looks like the best chance is going to be Saturday afternoon and evening. And then by Sunday, that real potential stays a little further to the south. In fact, let me go ahead and move the camera out just a little bit. Pardon me, I hit the wrong button. So as we get forward on Sunday, that most of that thunderstorm activity is southwestern and south central Oregon. A few stray thunderstorms could work their way into the high desert by the evening, but after sunset, it really fizzles out. So that's our 1-2 punch. Saturday and Sunday, we have this chance of some thunderstorm activity. Now, currently, we have very dry conditions across the high desert, so that's why, even though you saw some of those showers falling on radar, it wasn't actually reaching the surface, and it's because of this dry air mass. We have relative humidity values, percentage-wise, in the teens for most of the high desert, with some 20s on the east slopes of the Cascades. On top of that, temperatures today, 70s and 80s. Now, the forecast high for today was 78 degrees. Looks like we did a little bit better than that, had a little bit more warming, but right now we're still in the 70s with 80 in Redmond and 84 in Warm Springs. That puts us between 2 and 10 degrees warmer than we were just 24 hours ago. And tonight, not going to get as cold. We're looking at lows in the 40s with a few 50s and 30s out there. By tomorrow, mid to upper 70s, some 80s. And really, tomorrow's high temperatures all depend on where and when showers and thunderstorms start to develop. If it ends up trending dry and we're just looking at some in and out clouds, temperatures pick up a little bit more. If more showers, more thunderstorms develop, then it's not going to get as high for that high temperature. But it is something we're going to continue to track with you. So when it comes to the actual flow of what's happening, there's a low developing off the North California coastline. This is the one that's going to bring a chance of showers Saturday, and then on Sunday it redevelops and impacts us again. So Saturday we're looking at 70s and 80s with showers and some storms possible. That same thing happens again on Sunday, 70s and 80s, showers, some storms possible, in and out clouds. By Monday, there's still a very low chance of rain, but we're not even including it in this portion of the forecast. We're looking at 70s with a few 80s possible, so a slight dip in temperatures, in and out clouds, then the clearing, then our next round of warming takes shape. So between now and Monday at 11 p.m., most of us get wet, just not all of us, and there's no snow through any of the Cascades or any of our higher elevations. Now, as we go forward, we are still carrying the potential for some AM smoke, but warmer days are still expected. Well above average for this time of the year. We're going to be in the 70s with some 80s instead of 60s with some 70s. Now, scattered showers are expected both days. That potential for thunderstorm is going to be there both days. And then we really warm up as we get further into next week. And really, it's not until this time next week that we have our next system that could bring a chance of some rain with another dip in temperature. So let's look at a different forecast model. This one is one that I typically show on air every night. It's not the high resolution one, but it actually lines up pretty good with what we're seeing in that high resolution forecast model. So tomorrow, that first low really brings that chance of some PM showers with the potential of some thunderstorms. Now, some of us don't even get wet each day. Parts of the high desert don't even get wet. And we are looking at most of the thunderstorm activity over southwestern and south central Oregon. Just both days, we could catch some here in central Oregon. And by Monday, maybe a few more sprinkles before this really dries out and we get into a drier weather pattern. So this is the GFS. This is a long-range forecast model, and it's not nearly as high of resolution, but it does go out a lot further. So through Saturday afternoon, through Sunday afternoon, chance of showers is going to be there. This one doesn't carry that potential of thunderstorm activity, but it's still going to be possible. By Monday, lower rain chances. After that, more sunshine than cloud cover. And by the time we get to Thursday of next week, more PM clouds. Then Friday of next week, the last forecast model had some showers. This one just has in and out cloud cover. And so for Monday, but between now and Monday at 11 p.m., showers are expected, maybe some thunderstorms. Some of us don't even get wet. And that's pretty much all we're looking at through the rest of the week. So when it comes to winds, you can expect gusts to be at 20 plus miles per hour. That's what we've seen so far today as well. Actual wind speeds right here and right now, more like 2 to 12 miles per hour. Now, when it comes to the wind speed trend, we are looking at winds becoming breezy at times each afternoon, and each day a gentle breeze swings around from the south to the north. Then the northwest picks up some speed, and so smoke is still going to be a forecast. That smoke just really dancing over the Pacific Northwest through the next several days. So for tonight, expect 40s with a few 50s. By Saturday, 70s with some 80s, scattered showers, and the potential of some thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. That smoke is in the forecast as long as prescribed burn season continues. By next week, a little bit more PM cloud cover each day and 80s. By Friday, it looks like there's going to be a dip in temperatures, though. That's because of a weak wave of moisture. At this point, the GFS, the long-range forecast model, didn't have much of a chance of rain in there, but I'm going to keep it in there for now, just in case. Now, our weekend headlines include pleasantly warm days, more smoke, especially during the AM hours, weekend showers that are expected, and winds becoming breezy at times, and that potential of thunderstorm activity. And as of right now, the single thunderstorm cell we had is redeveloping right over the crest of the Cascades, and all those sprinkles aren't even reaching the ground. That is the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News while the latest headlines and your most reliable forecasts. See you then.